Greetings, Dungeon Delvers, and welcome to yet another edition of Descent into the Void, a tale of D20s, where 7 friends journey together to tell a story of mythic proportion. Thank you, everyone, for joining today.
Of course.
Hey.
Yay.
Hey, what's up, guys?
So without further ado, let's turn the page and continue our epic tale.
Gather round, gather round. Let me tell you a tale of life and death, of joy and sorrow, a tale of D20s.
After a bittersweet reunion with Duran's warband, you made your way to the Seekers Guild and took your promotion test to become Electrum Seekers. All participants managed to pass their exams, and you were greeted by the Daimyo, leader of Frostmourne, and the demon dancers Kaijin. In a private room, he discussed that he may need your assistance in the near future, as the captains he sent to Enceladus' cave have not checked in for 24 hours. Not wanting to jump to any conclusions and trusting his captains, Kaijin stated he would look into the matter first before requesting your aid, letting you know he has a way to confirm the life force of the dancers. He, Cal, and Minako then had a private conversation in front of everyone in Infernal. Apparently, one of them told Kaijin about Syl's illegal quest to enter the forbidden cursed castle of Neverlight. At first, he was angered, but he then calmed himself and admitted that the energy from Enceladus' cave was similar to that of the curse in Neverlight and the void itself, and he would like to look into it as well, also warning you of the nefarious witch Siphon who presented the quest. But none of this before he completes his research, of course, which he said would take about a 10-day. He also mentioned to Cal, Minako, and the rest of your group the possibility of taking the vagary trial to increase your abilities, if you were up for the dangerous task, that is. But warning you that never before has a non-tiefling been able to unlock this power. Before you could discuss the news about the reverse symphony, he abruptly left due to inquiries from Minako about Hiei, his brother. So, Liberators, you have completed your trials. Battered and bruised, you make your way to the back of the room, opening a sliding door revealing a snow-covered hot springs. The smell of steaming water wafts over your noses, and the tranquil view of mountains in the distance inhabits your vision. What are you all doing next?
Minako is preparing a meal for everyone, right?
King is currently laying in this hot tub reading his tome.
Cal is also in the hot tub.
Yo, you brought a book in the hot tub?
I prestidigitated the space around the edge so that way there was no snow and the ground was clean and dry so that way nothing could splash on this. Plus, you don't really swim and muck around in a hot tub. You're supposed to sit and relax.
Okay.
Horatio is on his way to the Electrum Library.
So, we'll start off with Horatio. You make your way through the chiseled corridor, trying to find your way to where the library is. You're not sure, you haven't been to the Electrum level, though there's beautiful artwork and statues and symbols of Nyx around. There are quite some Nimblerites walking around. You could ask them for assistance.
I would approach the nearest Nimblerite and say, excuse me.
Yes, master. How can I help you?
Hi, I just have several questions for you. First one is, I am currently looking for some books. I was wondering if maybe you'd be able to help me with that.
Sure. Are you looking for the library?
Yes.
I can lead you that way, master. Is there anything else you would need?
Yeah, I was wondering, would I be allowed to bring a book from the library out to the lounge area?
Why, of course, master. You would have to take it up with the librarian, who will then record your seeker's badge. Make sure you return it by the due date, though, or else you'll be fined.
All right, that sounds great. And I would follow.
Excellent. It takes a few minutes walking the winding caverns, but you do come towards a 10-foot door with metal doorknobs on it, and the Nimblerite opens it up. As you pass through this threshold, you look around and see a vast library, books upon books inside cases, 2 staircases leading to the left and right side, and then another one above that leading to a 3rd level. At the desk in front of you, you see there's a Nimblerite. You're not sure what this Nimblerite is doing because you see them kind of underneath, bent over, kind of shaking something. And the Nimblerite behind you goes, I bring, master. What's your name?
Horatio.
Master Horatio. And the other Nimblewright jumps up and looks towards you. Oh, hello there. Welcome to the Electrum Library. And then the other Nimblewright walks away.
Hello. I was wondering, I have some books that I am currently in search of.
Yes, what can I help you with?
Yeah, so I would like a book on warlocks, warlock magic, and I would also like a book on demon and demon-like entities.
Oh, why, yes. In the Electrum, we do have information on demons, as well as warlocks. Please, follow me this way. And the Nimblewright begins mechanically walking over towards the left side, taking you to find several books on the matters. And while you adventure in the library with the Nimblewright, the rest of you Liberators, what are you doing?
Monako is grilling various meats and enjoying the fresh air, but otherwise this isn't adventuring.
You all hear the sizzling of the meat that Monaco's is cooking. It smells quite delectable.
Oh, I can't wait for that to finish, Monako. It smells heavenly.
Do you have any requests or flavors you prefer? There's so many spices here.
I like things that have a umami tang to them.
And you'll see her pull out a little pouch, and she will whisper something into it and pull out a little pinch and sort of pinch over the meat, and the flavor kind of comes up into the air, and it's clear that she's spicing it, magical spices.
Thanks for the customization. I can't wait to try it.
Duran, what are you doing?
So Duran had jumped into the hot springs to kind of relax his tired muscles after his very, very exciting Electrum Seeker trial. People can see he's got a few like war tribal tattoos on his body and like a huge one on his back of like a tree with the mouth of a wolf. But he's really excited to be chilling and relaxing after a huge battle. When he hears Monako offer flavorings of food or drink, he turns to her and says, "Oh, Monako, could you bring me, what teas do your people have?"
She kind of looks up for a second and says, "I'm not sure, but they came with a large supply of everything we need." And she kind of goes over to all the supplies that Nimblewright's dropped off and kind of rummages to see if there's any like green teas or black teas.
Yes, you see several types of teas made of different herbs from the lay of the land. You can recognize them all being a maiden from Frostmoor and Shivrin. You also see cups of sake, like a bottle that you can use to pour that.
She will mention that there's also sake, and since you are in a hot spring, it would accompany it so well.
Tea will suffice.
She'll mention that there's several varieties and ask if there's anything in particular he wants.
Whichever one goes best with this view, Duran says, putting his arm up.
She will find the most aesthetically appropriate one.
Kind of trying to hide his full ignorance of different tea types.
All right. So as you begin to pick up and brew the tea, it takes a few minutes, but you're able to brew it to a pleasant aroma in the air. Roll me a performance check as you're cooking all this meals, Monako. 25. All right. So over the course of probably the first hour, you complete the meals and brew the tea, and it's delicious. You all can almost taste it from the aroma that comes upon all of you. And Monako, you begin to serve very elegantly around the hot springs with the place they provided the delicious meal.
Oh, it's a shame Wizard Horatio is not here to appreciate this meal and this fantastic tea. I will have to drink and eat twice as much for him.
After about another 15 minutes of you all reading and relaxing, you hear the door behind you slide open. Coming through is a Nimblewright. Masters, hi. There's a visitor for you. Can I let them in?
Sure.
Who's at the door?
Oh, it is one of the captains of the demon dancers.
Oh, please, definitely let them in.
As the Nimblewright walks back, you hear another door open and close and a stomping noise. Where are they? I must speak to the Liberators. And you hear kind of like a stomp, 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 stomp. and the doors slide open. And the Nimbaror is like, oh my word. And coming in front of you, you recognize the tiefling captain of the Stone Demon Dancers, Ren. Stepping onto the snow in front of you, she turns towards you all as you're eating your meals and says, ah, Liberators. Come, I come with news. You, eat? Yes, I'm hungry. And she walks over and begins grabbing some of the meal that Monaco has made uninvitingly and begins chomping down onto it.
Please join us. Yes, tell us the news you have. Without batting an eye, I invite her to the table like that.
Behind her back, she's wearing a large stone gorge. She kind of picks it up without any trouble and slams it down onto the ground in front of you. This almost makes the stone beneath you crack a little bit, showing the huge strength of this gorge, of the stone gourd. She begins to pop open a cork at the top of it, and into one of the cups begin pouring out her own sake from this huge gourd. So,
Do you have news?
yes, I have news from the daimyo. He regrets that he was not able to speak about the message you have sent him, but I am in charge of everything that has to deal with the stones in the symphony. So tell me, what have you known about this reverse symphony?
Oh, as I finish slurping up a noodle and a piece of meat, I quickly chomp it down and I'll say, I have figured that out, I think. With the help of Galdrim, who's no longer here, we were able to deduce what happened. He says, yeah, in Small Point, there was a small crystal in the town that provided shelter. And when we arrived, we noticed that there were demons lurking in the midst of the town. And upon inspecting and investigating, we realized that there was a black taint inside of a crystal, and it sung backwards. And it felt like it was literally pulling the magic of the symphony from the air, negating it, like singing a counter tune. And with the help of Galdrim, together, our prayers over this crystal, praying to the old gods and the new, we were able to seek a cleansing, and they blessed us with renewal, and the darkness inside of the crystal faded away, and the symphony's song returned.
This is quite troubling. So you're saying the demons have a way to reverse the symphony? How is this possible?
I don't know totally how they achieved it or what they did, but we might have more information, but we're still trying to digest and understand it. And then I'm going to switch quickly to Elvish and look towards Duran and say, can I tell her about your warband and potentially Dormammu's interference?
Duran says that this is no time for shame. We must let people know what's going on. This he says to him in Elvish.
Okay. After he responds, I know it's a little rude. It's like when you're sitting at a table and someone switches to another language and switches back, but I did it anyway. I don't care. I look to her and I say, unfortunately, there was an Elvish warband that was traveling through the layers, and there seems to be a dark sorcerer wizard who is using vile magics to taint the crystals. And we believe that this dark wizard named Dormammu has some ability to manipulate the symphony. And we think that he has done it. We don't know how, and it might not be the demons themselves, but should he be able to teach them, that is my fear.
This Dormammu, a wizard who can reverse symphony, that's impossible. The symphony is granted by the goddess Nyx herself. The song, this protects us from the demons. It's like how you say, a counter charm to keep them at bay. The larger the crystal, the stronger the symphony. It's a lovely song if you close your eyes and try to listen. Though only those who are truly connected to the gods can make out this song. And now someone can reverse it? But you said you were able to cure it.
I don't know if it was sealing magic that we were able to break, or if it was undoing a curse, or if it was What? I don't know how we did it, but with the help of the gods, praise be to Nyx, praise be to Myliki, we were able to remove the taint.
She picks up the gourd and takes a huge swig out of it for about 5 seconds before slamming it back down. And she goes, ah!
I'm gonna hold out my cup.
Oh, she'll pour you some as well into your cup. Maybe some spills over because it's filled with this sake, but she does fill up your cup to the brim.
If it doesn't matter. So I'm gonna chug mine in the similar fashion that she did.
Okay.
Sort of a show of solidarity.
Roll me a Constitution saving throw. As you take a swig of this sake, you notice it's much stronger than any other liquor you've had before. But you manage to feel the burn down your esophagus, hold tight, and keep yourself, though you are feeling a little tipsy.
Ooh, this is quite strong, Ren. Do you brew this yourself?
Yes, of course I do.
As I sort of like fan and waft my face.
But you are strong to take so much. She slaps you on the back and you kind of like cough a little bit from the pressure of her fist or her palm. Well, I know stories of Nyx and Myliki. It's forgotten tales. An old god and a new god working together after their rivalry. I'm sure that may have something to do with your ability to reverse the reversal song and cure the crystal. I'm going to do some research myself, see what I can find. But King, was it?
Yes.
I may need you to join me sometime. I'd like to examine you and use my divine powers to find the connection between you and the crystals.
Interesting. That would be my pleasure to aid you.
Excellent. Too bad you're not a tiefling, no? Then you could be part of my stone dances. Alas, you need a vagary. And she stands up after and carrying her gourd and slapping it on her back. You gave me much to think of. I will take this back and report to the daimyo. We'll be on the lookout for your warband and this Dormammu.
Am I feeling tipsy just from that one glass?
Yes, you are.
So I'm going to say, after she finishes her statement, I'm going to say to her, yeah, but if we master it, or if I master it, I'm calling it a fagry.
Roll me a charisma check.
Well, that's a sage. Hold on. The check.
Oh, she looks over towards you and
I start to chuckle to myself.
she looks over to you and goes, oh, you're funny man. Small, funny man. And she stomps her way throughout the rest of the little court area before sliding open the door hard, slamming it back, laughing to herself, and exiting the room.
I'll yell, send for me, I'll come. Bye. Whether she heard me or not, I just sort of shout it.
All right.
I think, Monaco, stranger things have happened.
From what I've seen, I mean, he seems to commune with her, but she speaks in infernal back.
Ooh. Yeah. King,
Yes?
when do you think you'll be going tonight?
Going where? She didn't say she was calling me tonight, did she?
Oh, well, I just got the impression.
Is that what you all thought? I thought she said just sometime in the future.
Monaco giggles.
I'm not in my best faculties. I normally don't consume such strong spirits.
I wish you luck.
And then I start like blushing.
Monaco, this food is amazing.
Thank you. They have good facilities here. I only imagine what I'll be able to cook on a campfire.
Yeah, but if it's half as good as this is now, it'll still be better than anything I've ever done.
I'm pleased you like it. She smiles and blushes a little bit. Anyway,
You should go soak in the hot tub now. You haven't had a chance since you were cooking.
oh, I'll make it to the other area. And she'll just like nod her head and then sort of quickly exit.
Oh, that's right. I forgot it's gender segregated. I didn't mean to leave. Sorry.
Once she gets inside, she just stops and kind of like breathes and looks over at the other room, makes her exit.
Okay. So, Monaco, you're heading over to the other side to get changed and go into the next hot spring?
No, she just made an excuse to leave. She's going to go to the library.
Okay. All right. So anything the rest of you want to do for the night? It's still about, let's say, 2 in the afternoon. Your plans to go and take the ArrowWatch escort quest in the morning?
I'm going to continue to read my book and hang out here in this lounge, like courtyard area, and dip in and out of the hot tub throughout the rest of the day. At one point, I actually would sort of hear a splashing, and maybe it's a bird or something, but I think it's Monaco getting into the female side of the tub. And I'm like, oh, good, I'm so glad that you're there. And then I'm just going to start talking for like 15 minutes to myself, but I think that it's her because there's like the wooden slats that are separating the male and female section. So I think that it's her on the other side, but it's just me talking to myself.
Okay.
Or someone else.
Yeah, you don't know what's on the other side. Could be anyone else. Duran and Cal, what are the two of you doing? Are you all just going to be spending the rest of the day in the hot springs? With health-wise, I wouldn't suggest because it's a long time in a hot spring.
After too long, Duran is going to mention that now I still need to go down to see what that dwarf has done with his interpretation of our elven weapons. It is a shame that Galdrim is not here now to see how fall it may fall of expectations.
I'm quite interested in seeing how that plays out. Do you mind if I join you, Duran?
It will be my pleasure, Cal. I would like to learn more about your weapons as well.
Sure.
Can I say in Elvish to Duran before he leaves? I'll say to him, well, you're out with Cal. Can you do me a favor and pick up 2 platinum rings?
For you, cousin, this is no problem.
If you can find them. And then I'll say, in my bag, and I'll point over there, is where I keep my coin. And then I'll say, there's some gold in there, but the gems are pretty much worth an equal trade.
And this is all in Elvish, right?
Yeah. Do you understand Elvish?
I don't think so.
Good.
Wow.
But I'll, so I'm just trying to like be quick and not like really draw a ton of attention. So I'll say the jewels should be a fair trade. Don't pay any more than 50 gold per ring.
I do have a bit of apprehension, cousin. You have a way with these shopkeepers that make them give you goods at lower prices.
I'll say, then scout it out. Find a good one for me. I'll get them later if you can't.
I will be your eyes, cousin.
Thank you.
Doran, which do you prefer?
He pronounces the name in a kind of elven kind of pronunciation that I, with my human muscles, cannot get close to articulating, but either one is fine.
Okay. I'm not used to saying such strange syllables as Cal is like saying this. He's trying to over exaggerate all of the mouth movements as he's saying the words he's saying. And Doran. I like that one. That one's what sticks.
More so to me is the Gale part of my name. That's the part that is less of what I'm called and more of how I feel.
Oh, is it a special name? Were you given that name?
It was not given, it was earned.
Oh. Well, let's talk about it while we make our way down to the dwarf.
Only if you let me try those weapons for a moment. I'm sure I can figure them out with your help.
Oh, for sure. Let's look for a shooting gallery or some sort of place probably close by the forge where you could test weapons. I mean, I assumed you'd give this dwarven sword a go for its money in testing it. How else would you know if it was good enough?
I will know it is good enough when I see the look in my enemy's eyes. That is all the proof I need.
Oh, that gave me chills.
I hope it gives my enemy similar chills, or burns if it... I do not know if this sword will be as strong as my Firethorn, just because of the magic enchantment on it.
Yeah, you can't really beat magic. As much as I like these shoulder pistols, there's nothing that beats these ones that I inherited. And he like points to one of the larger revolvers on his hip.
From what I have seen in these worlds, it is almost as if with no knowledge of magic, there's no chance of one to succeed.
Yeah, I never really thought of it that way. I always just imagined everything had a little bit of magic in it. Just being able to use it is up to you.
Well, if it were up to me, everyone would use magic.
Agreed.
But I do not have the same closeness like my cousin does with his goddess Maliki. And From what I've heard from Wizard Horatio, there are many different sources for magic, but the one I see the most and hear the most are gifts from one's gods.
That's how I got some of my magic. Tieflings, though, I think, are inherently a little magical.
My people also have a certain inclination with magic, as Galdrim always told me, although mine was not as strong as others.
Really?
Yes.
So strange to me. But I'm not an elf, so...
Yes, that is a shame.
Oh, no.
All right, so as you guys continue to make your way towards the heart of Frostmoor, you head towards the exit using the nimble rights to guide your way, and also Cal, who knows these corridors well, although not the Electrum side, of course. This part's new to you.
Yeah, this is all brand new.
But you know enough to get your way out and leave, heading your way towards town square. Meanwhile, inside, studying away, Horatio, what exactly are you looking up for demons? And I'll give you the information.
For demons, I would like to know about the different types that have been encountered here. I want to see if there's anything on Enceladus available, and intricacies of why it is that this symphony hurts them so much.
Okay. Roll me an intelligence check at advantage.
Oh.
Both of them twos.
Bummer.
To 7.
Curse of the two.
Oof.
Well, you begin to read the books that the Nimblewright has brought over to you on demons first. And you begin turning the pages and reading them. Just a lot of information that you're getting. Even with your keen mind, it's just a plethora of information compared to all the other libraries you've been to. You do see several information about succubi. Man, you understand and see how they work, how they affect the mind and the heart, and how they can go in and out of the ethereal realm as they please. You also read about Yachos, one of the demons that you had fought before with his acidic powers. But when you try to find Enceladus, the name comes up. Yes, you do see it in there, but you just can't. You don't understand what they're talking about. They mention something about him being a servant of a greater demon, and they do call him the sire of insanity. Other than that, you can't really understand the rest. What else were you trying to look up?
The intricacies of how the symphony hurts them.
All right. Roll me another intelligence check. Not at advantage.
Lost that. There we go.
Okay, 12.
Use your Ilrabu. Or did you use it already?
I used it already.
You all use your bonuses during the test.
Oh, that's
Still that
right.
day.
Yeah. You're right. Same day.
I didn't use mine during the test.
Oh, then you would still have it then. All those who were blessed by the Arabo anyway.
Duran's relationship with Makar was a little deeper than that. He just didn't just throw out El Rabu bonuses.
Shade.
So, upon reading on how the symphony affects the demons, you find a good amount of information. You read that the symphony is a song sung by the gods. Whether it's the old gods, new gods, you're not sure. You don't see that information. The song repels demons. It plays a tune comparatively to a dog whistle that keeps them at bay. People can hear it, and if they're in tune enough with the gods and religion and divinity, they're able to hear the whispers, and it's pleasant, almost like a lullaby. Though exactly what the wording is, what it's saying, what the song is not amongst the data that you have currently in front of you. What else were you looking for?
After I read up on the demons and all of that, I would switch over to the book about warlocks. Begin checking on how warlocks gain their magic and the source that they get their magic from and what kind of magic it is and all of that.
Okay. Roll me an intelligence check. 11.
Changing this dice color.
There's a lot of information on warlocks you have here, comparatively to what you read before about demons. You read how warlocks come to be, how they make pacts with otherworldly beings, celestial beings, or nefarious beings from the Nine Hells, and some from beings from a place called the Abyss, and then you see in parentheses the Chaos Plane. And amongst how exactly this bond works, you don't read or comprehend, but usually there is a pact made, and the patron gives the power to the warlock, who then uses it to complete their task as well as their patron's task. Usually this bond is life and death and can result in loss of soul or other things that the warlock has, whether it be by choice or not. But that's what you're able to get out of all this information. Well, at this point of your study, because you've been studying for a while, you hear, "We have another to visit the library." "Oh, yes. Welcome to the library." And you kind of look over from the second floor balcony that you're at and look down and see Monako with those two Nimberites.
Once I see Monako, I would put the book about warlocks away.
Okay.
Try to find a book about the history of Neverlight.
Right. So the Nimberites currently with Monako. If you want to try to find it and maximize, you can roll an investigation check for me. At disadvantage, this place is huge as well. So
no, I would probably put the book of warlocks away and then head over to the Nimberite and just approach and say, "Hey, Monako."
Oh, Horatio.
Hi.
You're doing research, I see.
Just reading up on some topics I had in mind. I actually am interested in finding some stuff about Neverlight.
Neverlight. Oh, I could tell you stories, but they're just stories. I'm sure the library has proper information for you.
Yeah. What are you looking for?
Oh, I had to get out of there. I thought maybe I could look up something here or there. She sort of trails off.
Horatio goes, "Are you interested in maybe copying some more spells from my book?"
She smiles at you and says, "Oh, well, if you have time. I didn't want to just take from you."
No, I mean, I'm going to be just reading, so you're more than welcome to just sit at the table and work on your spell books while I read.
Thank you. I'll be happy to give you any anecdotes, but I'm not sure how much help I can be for some of these more advanced things. Plus, we'll have to be in my section.
I think you're good if you're with me.
Then let's go.
All right. So I approach the Nimberite and say, "Excuse me."
"Why, yes, master. How can I help you?"
Yeah, I was wondering, do you have anything on the town of Neverlight available to read?
And immediately, they don't have features, they're wooden creatures, but somehow you sense a change or fluctuation in the Nimberite's attitude, and it goes, "No, master. I'm sorry, I cannot give you that information."
Oh, is it prohibited to?
"No, master. I'm sorry, but I cannot give you that information."
Oh. Can I make an intelligence check to see if it's there or if it's just anything on that topic automatically just shuts it off?
Sure. Roll an intelligence check.
Ow, ow!
Natural 20.
Check out the big brain on Horatio.
Now, when he's reading, though, when he needs the information, nothing.
Always.
You begin to ask those questions to the Nimberite, and he's responding in the same manner. And you start to get the sense that information on Neverlight, at least on this level in Electrum, is not here.
Okay.
Like, they don't even have someone the chance of finding it.
All right.
Best not push those things.
And the Nimberite kind of changes and says, "How can I help you, master?"
Could I get, he kind of veers off for a second and looks down and says, "Could I get information on Seekers?"
"Sure. Do you want an archive on famous Seekers? Or do you want a tale on Seekers' exploits?"
Can we do both?
"Sure. We also have the history of the Seekers, affiliates of the Seekers."
Actually, just archives and history.
"Right this way, masters." The Nimberite begins moving towards the other side of the library, leading you up towards the third floor. You both are sat at a large wooden desk on the balcony, and several books are given to both of you with different titles, all relating to the Seekers. So how much time do you want to spend reading the Seekers? There's several tomes here.
I mean, as much time as possible. And he would pull out his spell book. Like, we would go over to the nearest desk, I presume. He would pull out his spell book and like place it on the desk towards, like, inch it over towards Monako so that she grabs it.
What are you looking for anyway? This is a lot of information.
I just want to read about seekers and whatnot. I'm pretty sure you heard my parents were seekers as well.
Yeah, ever since they brought up Cain, everyone's been so weird.
Yeah, so I want to see what it is that they did that cast such a large shadow on me.
Do you need help? I could help looking for these. I could just copy the pages tomorrow.
Oh, no. Copying takes time. We should probably focus on that. I can skim through these pretty quickly.
She'll just nod and begin copying one of the spells into our spell book.
Horatio would start with the history of seekers and look up anything pertaining to the king.
Okay. So while you spend the hours rummaging through that information, we'll jump to King. Are you remaining in the hot springs area, or do you plan on doing something else? And it's fine if you just plan on just reading for the rest of the day.
Yeah, I planned on spending most of this day reading unless Ren or someone summons me. I'm going to sort of hang out in this spot, hot springs area. I feel like it's sort of like a traditional Japanese courtyard with this hot springs. So, I'll fluctuate from in the water for like 10 or 15 minutes, and then I'll go sit under a tree for like an hour, and then I'll go back in the hot springs for another 10 minutes. Then I'll get out, and then I'll eat some of the leftovers that Minako left. Then I'll, just sort of jump around this area while all like continuing to read my book.
All right. The area stays quiet. This is an Electrum area. There doesn't seem to be much Electrum seekers currently stationed here. So the time you spend here is left with you and Syl until eventually he leaves. So you left to yourself and your own vices.
And I'll just enjoy the silence and relax and know that we have more hard times ahead of us. And I think he'll realize that this is a piece of solitude that he might not have for a long time. So he's really enjoying it and, just taking it in.
Okay. Duran, Cal. At this point, you've made your way through the widening path outside of the Seekers Guild, walking past the Great Temple of Nyx into the streets of Frostmoor. It's a beautiful town, once again. Snow-touched ground. Busy in this afternoon, until you eventually make your way towards that blacksmith where you had encountered before. Opening the door, you hear a gling, gling, gling. And then you hear kind of a smelting and signs of forge work in the background. And you hear, 1 second. Yes, 1 second. All right, what can I do for you? Oh, it's you two. You see the dwarven gentleman that you had spoke, the young dwarf that you have given your or to step up to you, removing like his face mask and protective gear.
Yes, us again. Do you have my weapon, blacksmith?
Well, I have to admit, it's been a troublesome time trying to smelt that ore. It's stronger than I thought.
Oh.
No, I didn't say that it couldn't be done. I'm a dwarf after all, but did prove to be quite arduous. How much were they charging you again? And then before you answer, he goes, no matter. All right, come back here, come back. And he beckons you to follow him towards the back of the forge.
This I gotta see.
All right, as you guys walk to the back, turning around corners, you see the iron forge and all of his smelting and forging tools. On a table, about a little bit next to the forge, is a long object covered in like a burlap sack. He goes towards it and begins to unfurl it. And what you see is a double-bladed scimitar, but it looks much different from the elven craftsmanship of Duran's. The ore is glimmering into this strange copper-like color. There's a weird hum in the air as he kind of shows it to you. Around, you see the metal objects that he has begin to shake and slowly pull towards it. And he goes to wrap it up again. This is what I say was quite the trouble. It seems to be magnetic.
Magnetic?
Yeah, and I don't quite know how to turn it off. And as he shows it to you again, let's say a little metal nugget that he had next to you shoots up towards it and sticks to the tip of the blade. Now you can see the actual blade as he's walking closer to you. It's beautiful how it's shining, and you can almost see little sparkles inside the blade itself. It's not as elegant as would be an elven, but it has strong craftsmanship, and it looks hardy, but it's quite beautiful and well done.
So it's like extremely magnetic.
Mm-hmm.
Doran, what do you think?
Well, it's different.
Do you think you'd be able to get it to calm down with the whole magnetism thing?
Duran's gonna try to take the blade into his hands and gain a feel for its weight.
You grab the blade from him and he hands it over to you, and it's heavier. It's perfectly balanced. Actually, you're surprised by how balanced it is, but it is heavier than Firethorn. As you can't, you're not turning it around. It's still wrapped up. You can unwrap it if you want, but just feeling it, you feel the weight of it, and it's balanced and heavy. And he walks up to you. If you want to try it out, I would take it somewhere where there's not much metal. Maybe in the back here. I have a little practice range. You can try out the weapons. It's just wood and stuff there. So
Duran will take the weapon for a spin. Let us see if your untraditional weapon can wow me in an untraditional way.
Cal, how are you standing next to Duran as well?
Yeah.
So you start to feel every time he takes it out, every time he did that, not the two magical guns, but specifically your two normal guns, the metal pieces start to get pulled and yanked. It doesn't get out of the holster, but you do feel a tug.
I reach onto my shoulder holsters and make sure that they're strapped down and so that they don't go flying out. May I also ask a personal question?
Sure.
Do you have any bullets for sale? I was going to show my friend here how these work, and I figured I might as well get some extra ammo while I'm here.
Yeah, we have bullets and things like that I can get for you.
I try to haggle with price because I spent close to 12 or 13 rounds during the trial, so I want to probably restock fully.
You would want about a few pounds of metal for the bullets, and that would probably cost you about... So you say you wanted 12?
Yeah.
He goes, all right, for you, and I know you're seekers.
And actually, an extra 4 that I'll just put in my pocket to carry until I use them training Doran a little bit.
Okay, he goes, all right then, because you're seekers, and you gave me such a nice thing to work on. I would say 1 gold for 20 pieces. How about that? Or 20
rounds?
Rounds of bullets.
I think that's fair. And I toss a gold.
All right, and he grabs the gold and goes, all right, then before you leave, I'll get it right for you, but I'm quite curious to see you work that weapon, if you don't mind. And then leading you and Duran into the outer yard, you all see wooden practice dolls. They're not nimble rights, they're just wooden practice dolls. Targets hung up on the wall, as well as what seems to be some type of practice range where the targets are moving back and forth. So something for bullets and bow and arrows and swords to practice on. And he turns to Duran and says, all right then, if you want to try it out, though, keep all metal away. And he looks over at Cal.
All right, so it looks perfect. Doran, do you want to test out that blade first before we get the metal flying around?
Yes, let us see what this blade can do.
All right, you unwrap the blade, and once it comes out of its casing, it's wrapping the sack that is wrapped around. You hear a boom, and you feel like a strange tingle throughout your body. The blade is heavier than Firethorn, like I said, and you look at its beauty. It's very majestic. Top of the line dwarven makeup. Even you are slightly impressed by how fine and elegant it is. Though, of course, the way that it's not as elegant as your elvish craftsmanship. But you're free to walk up and make an attack against any of the dummies if you so choose.
Yes, he'll make an attack against the dummy.
All right. No need to roll. It's stationary. You go and make your first slash. As you swing down, you notice towards the end of your swing, there's a force almost that pushes against it, causing it to swing even faster than you initially needed or that you put into it. It's a clean slice through, breaking the entire dummy in half. Or I didn't say breaking, slicing the entire dummy in half. Not a single splinter is seen flying off of it as it falls down to the ground.
That's pretty good.
This is impressive. Blacksmith, I would not say it is as beautiful as an elven blade, but it is truly a dwarven love letter to the beauty of elven blades.
Well, I think it's even more beautiful than an elven craftsmanship, but, tomato, to each his own. It's fine, but I'm glad you like it. You know what? Because I had a lot of leftovers, and I think I can make other things with that ore. How about we call it even? I'll keep that, and you keep the blade.
Duran for a moment tries to contact King through the bar sending, but then realizes he doesn't have it. Let me confer with my teammate here for one moment. Cal.
Yeah, what's up, Duran?
I normally am not very good with these.
I think I may be able to be a little bit persuasive.
We will be able to make a decision after we are done with training with these weapons.
Yeah, I would like to see the quality of these bullets. I may be interested in some more. Maybe something we can work out.
He goes, well, what are you thinking about working out then?
Give us a couple minutes to try them. And I give one of the revolvers, the magical revolvers, to Doran. Do you feel the weight? See how it's perfectly balanced when you hold it above the ground directly straight-armed?
Interesting mechanism.
Now, the next thing you want to do is not have a straight arm, because that is how you break your elbow.
I see. My weapon, too, is dangerous when not used correctly.
Yeah, so let me show you how this one will go. You pull that little metal piece by your thumb, you pull it back, that's called the hammer, and then you aim with your eyes and shoot through your arm, and you pull the trigger. Have you ever used a crossbow?
I assume crossbows are pretty common.
Yeah, you've shot them definitely in the Valkyrie.
Yeah, I've used all martial
worked with
weapons.
many weapons. Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
Just not a gun.
Yes, I am familiar with the crossbow.
It's very similar to that. It's just instead of it being an arrow, it is a piece of lead. And I aim at one of the moving dummies and fire one of these new rounds off.
Okay, I have one of the moving ones. All right, roll me an attack. See if you hit it. 17, yeah. So you dead on hit the target dead center, and you see it get shattered into pieces. Immediately after it shatters, another one kind of comes into its place, continuing the rotation.
Just like that, Duran.
Duran kind of grips the gun the kind of way that he would the crossbow, but he's seen Cal during the Seeker level up exam, so he knows these things have a little bit of kickback, so he's gonna kind of brace himself a bit, mimic Cal's stance, and he's gonna try fucking firing this gun off. What's the check for this thing?
So you're not proficient in it, so it would just be your dexterity. Just roll me a d20 plus your dexterity bonus. But first, roll me an intelligence check to see if you can. This will decide another roll in the future, but roll me an intelligence check.
Okie dokie, intelligence. Yep.
All right, 15, not bad. Okay, you're able to understand how Cal was explaining the weapons workmanship, and aiming forward, you close one eye and try to point towards, like you would a crossbow, towards the target. Now you can roll me d20 with your dexterity modifier. Ooh, 21. So feeling how the weapon works similar to the point and shoot of a crossbow or even a short bow, you manage to take aim and release and you both see the bullet strike directly dead center and obliterating yet another target before another one takes its place and continue with their rotation.
Great job, Doran. That was amazing.
I had a good teacher, Cal.
Thank you.
Duran cries out the Elvish word for victory, and he turns to Cal. If there's any Elven I must let you know, it'll be this. You will need to know this word a lot, as it will come up many times traveling with us.
I clap him on the back and say, I surely hope so. This has put me in very good spirits. These bullets seem to be true. They're not misfiring. They seem to be of a good construction. Let's go see what we can do with that dwarf and selling a price.
One more thing, Cal. How good are you with a bow and arrow?
I'm fair.
Duran is going to pull out his bow and arrow, and I'm assuming some of these arrows have tips that are metal.
Yes.
Duran is going to say, I'm curious about what this metal attracting ability on this blade can do.
Ah, I see where you're going with this. Yes, Les, this will be, hopefully you're quick enough with this blade.
Okay, so what are you trying to do, Duran?
I'm going to shoot an arrow at him.
Oh.
And Duran's going to see if he can use the blade to help him, if the magnetism of the blade is strong enough to help with misdirect the arrow as it flies towards him.
Okay.
He's going to grab the blade and start kind of spinning it in a figure eight form in front of him, getting ready for the arrow coming.
All right. So you both take your positions. The dwarven blacksmith looks on in confusion. All right. Well, okay. Well, whatever you want to do. Ooh, adventurous. And all right, 18. All right. So you knock an arrow and release it towards Duran. Duran, I'll need you to make a dexterity saving throw at advantage.
Oh, you also get +4. I have an aura of protection about me.
So 26 is your final number. All right. So Duran, as you see this arrow shoot towards you, everything goes to slow down, and you raise this new double-bladed scimitar, and in a blink of an eye, Cal, you see the arrow go towards Duran and then disappear, and all Duran did was complete a slashing motion.
It just disappeared completely?
Roll me a perception check.
Yep, yeah, it did.
You have no idea where it went. Duran, you notice onto the blade itself, you see an arrow connected to it, and you can easily pull it off and do what you will with it.
Duran cries out, victory again.
That's some kind of weapon. That'll come in handy.
Blacksmith, you have outdone yourself. This is incredible work, and I will make sure that all of my enemies know your name through my blade. What shall we name this weapon?
Well, that was incredible work there, so why don't you take the honor? You don't have to think of it immediately. Let it come to you. See what fits. Though if I, as the creator of the weapon, might want to add, maybe do something about being magnetic or metal attraction. Put a little spin on it.
Yes.
An attraction blade.
The Iron Reaver Steel Stealer.
We'll work on it. We'll workshop it.
Also, let people know that Simon did it, blacksmith.
Simon?
Right, yep.
That's not you, correct?
No, that's my name. Yeah, Simon Ironheart.
Ah, Simon. I wanted to speak with you about payment for this blade. I understand you have a significant amount of metal left over. I was wondering if maybe, since there's so much left over, you'd be able to cover the cost of some bullets and or like I'm thinking bulk, maybe 50 to 100.
And then remembering the trick that King always does whenever they go into a store. After all, we are Electrum Seekers.
That is true. That is true.
Well, roll me at advantage a persuasion check.
Which one of us? You got this, Kyle?
Yeah, I can.
I would say Cal. Cal was the one who started the conversation.
Knock him out, Kyle.
King sneezes as you mention his name and rubs his nose as he continues to read his book.
Sheen shift. 20. So Simon looks onto you both and says, "Oh, all right, you have a deal.
Excellent.
Tell you what, if you come back in a day, I can turn some of that ore into bullets for you."
Surely. Doran, I can pay off whatever the remaining cost was of that ore. It's only fair.
Excellent. Then our work here is done. Duran wraps the blade back up.
The humming dissipates as you wrap back up and you place it on your back, sheathing it.
I wonder what these bullets are going to look like.
As you walk back into the shop, Simon gives you a bag containing the bullets that he had promised you with your new deal.
How many are there?
You had asked for, did you say 100?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's 100 bullets in there. So you get bags.
Yeah. I got a couple boxes and I just put them in my backpack.
All right.
And then I also pull out, or I can do this as we're walking back to the Electrum Lounge. I pull out some gold and we'll give it to Doran.
How much gold are you giving him?
100.
Was that the mysterious ore? That's what came of the mysterious ore?
Yes.
Oh, cool. I totally didn't realize that till just now. Okay, cool.
Duran puts his hand up and stops you from giving him the gold. Cal, it is better that you hold on to that gold. I am not good with these kinds of interactions. Save it for later. I trust your judgment and your aim.
I appreciate it. You too. You might put me out of a job.
So when do my guns get made?
Well, if we find some metal along in our travels, sounds like we may be going back to a cavernous mine area soon. Perhaps I could get it forged for you, or potentially even have Simon back there forge a couple.
For now, I think I will stick with my blades, but maybe one day I might adopt a style like yours.
I'll tell you what, in a pinch, you're never truly out of ammo when you can just drop and grab another revolver. There is an advantage to that.
And I doubt I will ever run out of ammo with my bow and arrow, as long as I can get new arrows out of the air.
Death won't be a problem with that new blade.
Okay. So after collecting your weapons and ammo, you make your way back towards the Seekers Guild, unless there's anywhere else you want to go. If not, then you use the rest of the afternoon to make your way back.
Doran, I have a question. What were you and King talking about? Was there something he needed? I saw him kind of point some money or something out to you.
Oh, yes. My cousin had asked that I look for platinum rings.
No, that's what that was about.
Yes. Duran turns back around. What's his name? Steve? Is it Steve?
Simon.
Simon? I knew this with the S. I'm really bad with names, even in fictional setting. Simon, blacksmith.
And he comes back. Oh, yeah. And he takes off his smithing clothes again and comes back. Oh, you're back again. I'm gonna help you.
Do you have any platinum rings?
Yeah, we have some platinum rings. Cost you about 50 gold, though.
We liked your work so much, we wanted to get some additional wares from you.
Yeah. Of course. I enjoyed working on them, and I'll enjoy working on them bullets too, and other things I can come up with the rest of the year. Well, anyway, yeah, I can get you 2, 3, how much you want, platinum bands.
2.
And they'll be about 50 gold each, so 100 gold.
Is that the best you can do? We're going to be giving you lots of business in the future, it sounds like.
He kind of looks at you. Your charisma from before still lingering on him. He says, all right. 70 gold for both.
Okay, I hand him 70 gold.
Okay, amazing. 70 gold. He goes towards the back, comes back with 2 platinum bands, handing you in a box each. Anything else you want?
I hand them to Doran and I say, oh, no, Simon, I think that'll be everything for us.
All right, then. Get back to work. He walks towards the back.
There, Doran. And you didn't have to spend any of King's money either. He'll be happy about that.
Oh, that was an impressive show. You have to teach me how you did that one day.
Just the old tiefling charm.
You both make your way back towards the Secret Guild. While during this time, Minako, you continue to write the spells from Horatio's book. And Horatio, you were looking into the history of the Seekers, specifically now the archives and what happened in the past. So this is the information you managed to read during these hours before dinner time. You read how the Seekers were created by adventurers to find the unknown and explore the void and restore histories and artifacts that were lost from society and civilization. You don't read who did it, per se, or whom, just a group of adventurers estates. And it's been around for hundreds and hundreds of years. And it does list notable seekers as you read on. There are several different names that come up, but the names that strike out to you the most are Susan Kane and Frank Kane. There's an index that states what page their information on, and you quickly fumble towards that page. You read how they were one of the few orichalcum seekers that exist in this guild. You read about their exploits, but it goes more in detail in another book. You can continue trying to read the history, but if you want to jump towards just them, you can go and read the next book about the exploits of Seekers. But doesn't give any more information about them other than that they're Orichalcum Seekers. And
Horatio will go over to the exploits book and look for information on.
Okay, so leaving that book behind, you go and open up the next book and begin trying to find the exploits of famous Seekers. And there's several different famous Seekers, even gold Seekers who have done some amazing things. But you flash through the pages until you hit Susan and Frank Kane. Underneath Susan Kane, you see in parentheses Susan DeLorean. Reading her line first, you see many exploits, but the biggest and most information that you see written was Susan Kane and Frank Kane defeats the Mad Cloud Giant King. It goes on and explains how the married couple, Susan and Frank, took it upon themselves to descend into the void onto the 5th level to fight a Cloud King tyrant. As the battle was long and arduous, but they rose victorious, liberating that entire plane from this tyrant king that before it was brought to annihilation. This plane was full of storms and torrential rain and lightning blasts, and all the creatures in it were running for shelter and protection, digging beneath the earth. They came and freed the surface world of this plane from the evil king tyrant Argadon and became heroes. This is what gave them the title of Orichalcum Seekers. But you spend most of the time reading all this. It's like a long, huge story that you just keep turning page, going on details about the king, songs that were written in Susan and Frank's honor. But there are also other stories about them there, but that was the longest. If you want to spend the rest of your time, I can type up each story for you, and you'll have that. If you want to spend the rest of the time just reading about their exploits.
I would actually, after reading that, I would go look up other Orichalcum Seekers, and I would check about gold Seekers that are in the book where it says their exploits. Like I would see what a gold seeker had to do to end up on this book.
Well, you want to see what the gold seeker did to get into the exploits book?
Yeah.
Okay, and you also want to look up other Orichalcum Seekers?
Yeah.
All right, so I'll send that information over to you. Monako, are you just going to be finishing up your spell writing?
Yeah, she'll spend, I imagine from when she left to around dinner time, she has to spend 6 hours to copy the spell,
So let's see. Dinner time will be around 6 and you started on. So you get 4 hours into it, or if you copy enough spells, you could do like 2 hour, however you want to split it. But you get 4 hours to do what you wish.
Okay, I'll just note that down. But she was just spending that time sort of practicing and casually glancing over at Horatio to see what he's up to, and sometimes having small talk, but mostly just concentrating on the spell.
Yeah, Horatio, from time to time, he would see her like probably working on a spell, and like he'll look up and give her like pointers to help with hand motions and all of that on certain spells.
All right. So, King, one last checkup. It's you still had this time alone. So during this walk around, you could split it up if you want to read some of your book, but you had about 5 free hours since everyone left, and you were also reading in the tub. So I would say, yeah, you have 5 hours that you can put towards whatever you like.
Yeah, so I would have been reading the book and hanging out after the test, just sort of staying and reading and relaxing. I'll put that in. So what time is it now? Because you said it's like dinner time or after dinner time?
Dinner time. It's dinner time now. You can remain up here and all eat or go to the mess hall, but there was supposed to be a party in your favor around this time.
Oh, that's right. I will go to my room and get dressed, and I'm going to put on some of my fancier clothes.
The rest of you, what are you doing?
And then I'll make my way to the party.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine that Duran and Kyle are going to bring back the rings and show them the king.
Yeah, and then after that, be ready to go to the party.
Okay. We'll say you all meet up in the common room and leave together. Horatio, I'm assuming you're actually going to go eat as well? Or do you want to just stay here and continue reading? You can if you like.
Horatio would take the book of the demons in the area and all of that and try to rent that out. Like he would return everything else, and then the book about the demons and all of that, he would try to take that for actually just go up to the Nimblewright and ask him.
Okay. The Nimblewright takes your seeker badge and begins to scan it in some type of apparatus that you can't see behind the desk. Afterwards, handing you the book, allowing you to go forth with that.
And before I leave, how long do I have this? Can I have this out for? What's the limit?
Let's see here. According to your ranking, Master, 1 week.
Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you.
A good day, Master.
You as well.
And you leave and head towards the common room, the both of you, until you all meet up together. You all get changed and put on your clothes if you want to or not, but you prepare to get ready and begin to head off towards the mess hall, where you all know a party is being held in your favor. Passing through the familiar walls and the winding caverns, you walk past the quest sheet, which seems to have updated with different things, and continue going on into the mess hall before you. There, everyone who is seated and talking immediately notices you, and everything goes silent, and everyone kind of stares at you. After about standing there for a minute, you hear everyone kind of start to clap slowly until it increases until it's a full-on applause by everyone inside of the mess hall. People are whistling and cheering, praising the name of the Liberators.
That's when we'll walk in, once the clapping's sufficient.
Well, you had already walked in and kind of stopped as everyone stared at you.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll stop and continue to walk now to the clapping. And go to one of the tables, I guess. Or
Is
walk over
everyone
to
with
like
us?
drinks.
Everyone's together,
Okay.
including Sil.
You all sure know how to make an entrance.
Oh, this is typical.
I mean, after this morning's performance, everyone was so impressive.
Horatio says, I'm not actually used to this.
We've liberated a whole kingdom. You should be by now.
Yeah, I mean, just because we've received it doesn't mean it's fine.
It's a hard thing to adjust to.
Yeah, it is.
I'll say, don't get caught up in it. Let's have a drink. And then I'll walk over to Lancel and one of the like bar areas and I say, get us around, please. One for everyone.
Lancel is towards like what seems to be some type of stage area. And so if you approach him, you'll be going away from the bar area.
No, I'll go to the bar area and try and get a drink for us.
Okay. You walk towards where you see people are grabbing drinks. The cafeteria-like structure has changed a little bit and looks more resemblance of a restaurant and a bar, though the seats are still in their same positioning. Lancel sees you walking over to the bar as you go to order a drink and kind of on some type of loudspeaker says, I see that the guests of honors have arrived. Hold on there, you. And like a spotlight shines directly on King. You look up and you just see some type of dancing lights shining on you. Before you grab a drink, I'm going to need all the Liberators to step onto the stage.
I'll walk on over.
I'll follow suit.
Minako whispers to Kel, I always get so excited when they include us in the Liberators.
It's pretty awesome. I'm glad to be here.
Horatio walks over as well.
All right. As you all walk over towards and step on the stage, some of you reluctantly, the human bard steps in front of the group and puts his back towards the audience and kind of bends over to you and goes, you guys are celebrities now. You should be honored. Everyone holds you in high regard, so make face and give smiles. He kind of turns around and kind of pats Horatio on the back, slapping in the back, so you step up a little bit, and he once again announces on the loudspeaker, can I get another round of applause for the Liberators who have become Electrum Seekers? After that performance, aren't we all impressed? And they all begin to cheer and clap. Well, I won't take up too much of your time, so I just want you guys to just know we're glad you're here. And thank you for taking on some of these quests. You're doing us proud and really becoming great seekers. I know some of us, and he looks on over to Horatio, have big shoes to fill, but some of us also have big feet. And he looks over and smiles at Horatio again. But once again, the Liberators! And everyone begins clapping and cheering before doing a toast and a hear, hear, and then continuing with their meals.
I'm gonna jump up and down and like wave and like throw my hands up and like use prestidigitation to sort of like make it look like flower petals are like streaming down on all of us. Yay! Yay! We did it! And then they sort of like sparkle and fade out and like turn to like little sparkly fireworks.
Horatio would walk over to Lancel and say, Lancel,
Yeah.
I actually have a question. Do we know where the portal to the next floor is at?
Well, of course. It's, well, make sure you're ready to go down there. But it's, down in the dreaded waters by the swamp cross.
Dreaded waters by the swamp cross. Okay. Horatio kind of like just breaks eye contact with Lancel and starts like thinking, and then remembers on the map where the dreaded waters are at. And he says, I also have another question. I was trying to do research on Neverlight. I wasn't allowed to. Is it a higher level requirement or?
Oh, Neverlight. I can't give you that information. But yeah, it's nothing that a Electrum Seeker needs to worry about. That's an Adamantine and above.
That's 2 levels up, right?
Yes.
That's interesting. All right. Well, sounds good. Thank you. The dreaded waters. That's good to know.
Yeah, just if you're ready to go down there, just you have to pass through a tunnel to kind of take you underneath the ocean. And letting you know some weird creatures hang out around there, so best prepare yourself.
Weird creatures how?
Oh, kind of strange creatures of the night. It changes every time. Creepy crawlies, serpent-like bug creatures. I don't really like them that much.
Okay, this isn't about you liking them. We need info here. I mean, we're not getting ready to go down just yet, but do you at least have a name so that I can research them?
When you're ready to actually go down there, I'll give you all you need. Just don't worry about it right now. And he looks kind of nervous a little bit. You pick up?
Insight check?
Sure, roll me an insight check. 18. You could tell it's a strange subject for him, mates. He's definitely hiding something. You can pick that up, but you're not sure why. You just want to get to the next levels, what a normal seeker would do. But he seems to be apprehensive.
And I say to him, could we maybe talk about this later, privately?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no problem later. Whoa, yeah, I'll be right there. See you later, Horatio. And he just walks off, pointing towards seemingly nothing in the corner.
I watch him to see where he's gonna go, like if he's going to anyone immediately or if he was just dodging me and leaving.
Looks like he was dodging you.
He looks a little worried and then looks for his group, just goes to them.
So all of you, while you're here, people come up to you and congratulate you and get you drinks, and you have a merry time. Is there anything you want to do during the party, or would you like to just head on towards the evening?
Is there anybody of importance that tries to speak with us?
Well, one such person does come to speak to you. Walking up towards Duran, you see that the tall, not as tall, but tall, muscular tiefling Darius kind of walking a little bit too close towards your face until stopping almost nose to nose, brim to brim. He goes, quite the impressive display that you put on during your exam. You have lit fire in me. I too will not be a griefer and stay here in gold. Watch your back, Duran the Gale. I'm coming right behind you.
Can I say in a snarky way after he says that, I'm going to be like, let us know if you need a sponsor. Sometimes people get stuck, and I know it's hard for guys to make it up. Not everyone has all the stuff they need.
Roll me a intimidation check.
Sure.
22. He looks down over at you and just kind of goes and then doesn't say anything, but though he looks visibly shooketh. And
you shaketh in those boots. I don't say that. I say that to you party members.
Anything you want to say, Duran, before he begins to walk away?
Then I will meet you at the top.
Our battle will be glorious.
I do not necessarily mean a battle, but sure.
He looks over to you and kind of gives you a nod and begins walking away.
It is good to see the fire stir in one's heart.
But I wonder why he said he was going to fight you.
I get that a lot.
Simple-minded men. As I drink more and more, I would like to start to proselytize and like try and convert people and be like, have you heard of Miliki? And totally just like let it go
As you go, do that to everyone. Just roll me a general persuasion check. Okay, 18. A lot of people listen in. Some of them actually curious to hear about Myliki, as it's an old god and you don't hear much about them. But a lot of the people are kind of looking at you and smiling and saying, mm-hmm.
I'm not going to bring it up, but I hope that someone brings up, they're like, is he the one that grew the tree? And then if someone says something, I'm going to be like, maybe, and totally like be a little obvious.
Actually, indeed, yes. Some people do whisper about the tree. You hear, that is a talk you do hear amongst everyone about, did you hear about a tree being grown? About heaven's fruit and frostbite? No way. New adventurers. Wait, those adventurers? Yeah. And people are still whispering and talking about it. You do hear it.
I'll just use that to like part of my, like, I don't want to get super trash, but I'm definitely like drunker than normal as I'm like just going like saying and doing. So I just want to sort of like do that. And I plan to only be there for like 2, maybe 3 hours, but I might end up staying there a little longer.
All right. You begin conversing with people. A little bit of information you're able to pick up. The talk of the town right now is about how some adventurers went past the frostbite. It was blocked off by demon dancers, but they were able to gaze this massive tree coming out the mountains and almost see the aura that it's shooting off. And then you hear discussions about how the dew is blanketing the mountains, which is rich with the crystal inside of it, and creating this sort of energy. And people, it's almost Aurora Borealis like.
And she gave me the power to do that. And she could talk to you too. Let me know if you want to pray. I'm like also still reeling from the fact that I feel like I lost a disciple. So that's also a second layer in my mind.
A lot of people are actually quite curious about Myliki now, as you discuss about the Heaven's Root tree that you grew. Nobody jumps over to Myliki, but they are quite interested and do inquire throughout the evening different tales and stories of her grace from you.
Minako was bringing drinks to the party and was probably keeping King's cup full while giggling the whole time, abstaining, of course. She says to him, "You really don't know what that means for our people, do you? I mean, that's freedom from so much."
No one should live in such fear of monsters, and I'm glad that it's liberating part of the land. One day we'll be able to have all the space rid and cleansed for everyone to enjoy. Or at least that's the goal. And she guides me. And I'll just constantly steer the conversation back to Myliki.
There's balance in all things, as Kalemvor would say.
Okay. And as you all finish your revelries and think upon the adventure you have early in the morning, you walk your way back to the common room, entering past the archways for making your way to your bed. Is there anything you all want to do before you turn in for the evening?
Minako does a couple things in the night. She just finishes writing out the spell and then sort of takes care of the area, seeing as she doesn't actually sleep.
I'm going to light a regular candle in my bedroom and kneel and pray and hiccup because I'm still a little drunk. And I'll say, "I'm sorry I'm drunk. I hope that I made you sound good to those people. I feel bad, and I want more people to worship you. I'm hoping that you still like me. I do this for you. I'm sorry if I'm still learning. I'm drunk. I love you, Myliki." And then I'll blow out my candle.
Okay. Anybody else wish to do anything?
Oh wait, are we all sleeping in like the Electrum Seekers area for the first time?
Yeah. You pulled out the beds. Well, there were already beds in the common area with a beautiful hearth. And remember, there's fur skin rugs everywhere, keeping it nice and warm. And then the sliding door that leads to the beautiful oasis you were at before.
I picture these beds were like a little bit nicer. So like, you know how some beds have like those curtains around the edges, like of the, like this, I don't know what they're called. You know what I mean? Like the curtains around the bed. I see if there's one of those, and that's what I try and go in one of those.
All right. So anyone else doing anything? Duran?
Yeah, Duran's going to trance out for the night, like near the hearth, but he's going to have the new blade he got, and he's going to sit with it and kind of meditate on the blade like he did with Firethorn. I don't know if he can attune to it or see if it's something that can be attuned to. He's also thinking of a cool, badass name for it as well.
As you concentrate on the blade that evening, trancing on it, you do feel that your consciousness can attune to this blade. Once attuned, you're not sure what will happen, but you do feel that you can connect to it.
He's going to go for it.
All right. How many attunements do you have?
He currently has 2 attunements.
Okay. So you attune to this weapon, connecting to it and feeling its the aura between you locked together. You do pick up that this is not a magical weapon, though it does have properties, magnetic properties. You could do things such as what you did with the arrow, and anything that's metal that you need to pull, you can reach out to and control. And also, you have the ability to knock out metal projectiles in the air, and I'll send you over the stats for that. But since you're tuned to both weapons, you can use either one.
Swag.
Anyone else want to do anything before bed?
Horatio would, in his room, take out the portable hole and go into it. And I believe that there was like a desk and a chair in there, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so he would try to organize, like put the desk and the chair in order, make it neat, and then grab the tome of Rizarol, the one based on curses, and put it on the table and just read like an hour before going to bed, and just leave it open, but close the, like step out of the portable hole, close it and put it away and go to bed.
Okay. So entering into the portable hole, making yourself comfortable and organizing it while reading the tome, you continue from where you left off. The information you're able to get is this. Rizarol talks about how he feels the curse, and he puts that in quotations, is a form of energy, an energy emanating from another plane, but he's not sure what plane exactly, and he wants to find out how to use it and harness it. And that's all you're able to read for the first hour. Whether or not he did find a way or what it is, probably further into his books, but so far that was what he has written.
He gets out of the portable hole and just prepares himself for bed.
Okay. Deactivating your necklace, you go into bed and rest for the evening. Anyone else want to do anything before bed?
Yeah, Cal is going to give his revolvers a final cleaning for the night, and after King is done with the candle, Cal's going to just relight it and thank Clemvor for ending this day by bringing it into night and welcoming in the new day tomorrow.
Okay. You relight the candle and pray towards Clemvor. You're not sure if you feel his presence at that moment, but you do feel comfortable before saying your prayers and heading off to sleep. So, we're going to take a break until we go into the second half of our adventure.
Whoa, that was amazing! We did it, D-Pad!
You see? Isn't Podigy great?
Podigy is such a great and powerful service, and all I had to do was enter Podigy.co.
And that's not all that Podigy can do. You can also get assistance with consultation, the artwork, your show notes, and so much more. Can really help a starting podcast hit the ground running.
Where's the next town, D-Pad? We have to let everyone know about this.
The nearest town to here, that will be the mountain sanctum known as Vocal Core.
Right. I'll tell them about the secret code phrase, a tale of D20s that can save them 20% off their first month. Not to mention the $500 credit they'll get if they sign up for 3 months. Together, we can beat Dr. Cacophony and liberate all the Podverse. Hey there, Dungeon Delvers. Thank you for listening. I wanted to take this time to thank our vendors, composers, and collaborators who work so hard in bringing a tale of D20s to life. Starting with Frank Freire, who drew the portraits for the player characters, Manuel Lapuca, who created our orchestral soundtrack, Kyle Misko, who created our main theme, night theme, and mystical theme, Christian Yuki, who created our heavy metal theme songs, Jan Rosa, for letting us use their soundtrack Continuum, and Dave Chappell for letting us use his End of Silence, A World of Color soundtrack. You can find more information on all of these artists at ataleofd20s.com. So, click on to part 2 and we can continue our epic tale.